The most shocking moment in Oscar history. At the 1973 Academy Awards, actor Marlon Brando did not appear, but on behalf of him was a Native American campaigner, Sacheen Littlefeather. When it comes to an incident at the Oscars, you might think of Warren Beatty mistakenly declaring 2017's best film La La Land instead of Moonlight, and having to correct it shortly after. Or more recently, last year, when Will Smith walked straight up to the stage and slapped Chris Rock in the face for mocking his wife Jada Pinkett. These are all loud events, but they can't be compared to the shocking moment that took place on the evening of March 27. What happened that day can be summed up in two words: Sacheen Littlefeather. 1973, during the 45th Academy Awards ceremony. Unexpected appearance. The Native American activist, then just 26 years old, appeared at the awards ceremony to turn down the Oscar for Best Actor, which was awarded to Marlon Brando for his classic performance in The Godfather. "Hi, my name is Sacheen Littlefeather," the young woman said after turning down the Oscar statuette from actors Roger Moore and Liv Ullmann. "I'm from the Apache tribe and I'm the chairman of the National Committee to Preserve the Native American Image. I'm representing Marlon Brando tonight, and he asked me to tell you that he regrets not being able to accept this generous award," Ms. Littlefeather said. "And the reason for this action is to protest the film industry's treatment of the Native American community on TV shows and movies, and also because of what happened recently in Wounded Knee. I hope I didn't disrupt this evening, and that in the future our hearts and understandings will meet with love and forgiveness. On behalf of Marlon Brando, thank you." The 26-year-old activist concluded his brief speech. Today, it is perhaps difficult to understand why what happened that day was so shocking. If you watch a video of the moment on YouTube, you can hear boos right from the people in the auditorium. During the recent Oscars, it has become very common for a movie star to use his acceptance speech to make political views. Susan Sarandon calls for the U.S. government to stop discriminating against HIV-infected refugees. Sean Penn calls for equality for same-sex people, and Leonardo DiCaprio wants people to pay more attention to climate change. But in the 1970s, using the influence of a movie star to make a political statement was still something new, and often did not receive as much support as it does now. Jane Fonda can be considered one of the pioneers of this movement, publicly voicing her anti-war views in the 1970s. But doing so at an event as big as the Oscars may still be, was something too radical for Hollywood's conservatism at the time. That probably explains in part the boos you might hear in the auditorium after Sacheen Littlefeather's speech. Actor Clint Eastwood, appearing after Littlefeather on stage, even mocked the 26-year-old activist's speech. "I don't know if I should give this award on behalf of cowboys shot in John Ford's westerns over the years," the actor said. "Contribute to policy change with indigenous people. It is also necessary to mention the activities of the Native Americans fighting for equality during this time." Sacheen Littlefeather was then a member of the American Indian Movement, AIM, a new organization founded in 1968. Littlefeather said, "The Oscars of 1973 also took place around the time of the Wounded Knee siege in South Dakota. And as MRS. It was an event where about 200 AIM members occupied the town of Wounded Knee, demanding that the U.S. government give fair and equal treatment to Native Americans." In such a context, the appearance and speech of Sacheen Littlefeather caused mixed reactions. The Hollywood Reporter the next day published an editorial criticizing Marlon Brando's actions. Meanwhile, The Godfather movie producer Robert Evans voiced his support for the actor. This division may also contribute to further stories of how Mrs. Littlefeather was offended. There are even rumors that actor John Wayne, who is famous for his roles as cowboys who specialize in exterminating Indians in the film, rushed to attack Sacheen Littlefeather, and betrayed 6 security guards. To stop him. According to the Native American campaigner, she felt harassed and discriminated against because of her speech, for the rest of her career. Little Feather also believes she has been blacklisted by the entertainment industry. In the late 1970s, after a few small roles and a Playboy appearance, Little Feather's career seemed to have come to an end. In June 2022, the American Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which selects the annual Oscars. Later, the institute also held a healing talk with the Native American activist. Sent an official apology to Sacheen Little Feather. This happened just about a month before she passed away at the age of 75 in October 2022. Matters were also compounded when there were investigations that Sacheen Little Feather was not descended from the Apache tribe she claimed to be. However, according to some experts, this did not detract from her speech at the 1973 Academy Awards. For me, this is not a problem. Whether she, Little Feather, is a member of the tribes to which she belongs, she clearly has acceptance from the leaders of the community. Our community, said Adam Perrin, Indigenous Program Director at the Sundus Institute. What happened to Brando and the Oscars had an immeasurable impact. Sacheen Little Feather helped break the media silence on the Wounded Knee incident, where the U.S. Department of Justice banned journalists from reporting. And that begins to help change actual policy and legislation in the treatment of Native Americans, Perrin added. Marlon Brando's legacy. Considering the full text of Marlon Brando's message, which Little Feather was not allowed to read in its entirety at the Oscars ceremony, but later shared with the press, it's not hard to see the plot. I don't want to offend or belittle the participants tonight. Core of the problem. You're probably asking yourself right now what the hell this has to do with the Academy Awards. Industry. The film industry is also responsible for demeaning Indians. When Indian children watch television or watch movies, their minds are damaged in ways we will never understand. If we are not responsible for what happens to others, then we should not be the executioner to finish them off, she said. Essentially, skepticism about Little Feather's origins does not diminish the importance of the message she sent. Marlon Brando's intention was to raise awareness of the plight of Native Americans, and their years of abuse and racism on screen. I think it's up to the natives to decide how they feel about Little Feather's legacy. But her actions, on the foundations Brando helped, have had a big impact. That's part of it. In a larger effort to set the stage for the next steps forward, strengthening the activism of Native American communities. America simply destroys the identity of the Native American, leaving him to be just an American, said Mr. and other communities' awareness of our rights. Despite a tumultuous personal life, Marlon Brando has always been an ardent supporter of the civil rights movement in America. He himself participated in the famous 1963 March in Washington. Perrin. There's no denying that his heart was in the right place, and in a very modern way. At that time when he appealed to an interest in children, cinema, and representation. As Mr. Perrin pointed out, what Marlon Brando and Sacheen Little Feather did make a difference. And a lot of people outside the Native American community may not realize it. What they did, changed the balance of media coverage and erased what was going on. People are used to looking away, and this event has forced people to come to terms with what is happening. Truth, Mr. Perrin said.